Hey guys, welcome back to ClevverTV's Breaking Dawn Book Club. I'm Joslyn Davis with my partner in crime, Dana Ward.
Hello.
And today we are so excited to be wrapping up this part one of the book club with one of the actresses from the movie. We're so excited to have Tinsel Korey joining us in the studio.
Hello, ladies.
Welcome to the book club.
Thank you very much.
Super exciting.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Hey, you're joining us for chapters 17 and 18, which are two of the, shall we say, more gory.
Yes, very intense.
Very
Insane.
intense.
Yes.
And we don't know where the movie's going to leave off, but of course you're just going to spill all the beans. Probably not, but that's okay. So let's jump right in with chapter 17. And I love the chapter names. We're still in Jacob's point of view here. This chapter is called, What Do I Look Like? The Wizard of Oz? Take Everything I Have. Best chapter name yet.
Aww.
Awesome.
Yes.
Is he saying he doesn't have a brain, a heart, a courage?
He is empty.
They've
Oh, he
taken
is
all of
empty
it
inside.
from him, poor guys. And this actually starts out, this chapter is really like about him coming to terms with what's really happening, like actually saying, okay, this is what's going down. But we do see a meltdown from him. This was kind of like a hard part for me to read. What was it like for you guys?
I mean, I feel like this entire book, it's just been like, oh, poor Jacob. Once again, poor Jacob. And of course, at this point, everything has escalated so much. It's just, you can't help but just bleed your heart for him.
Yeah, I know.
I think sometimes, like, you know, when you're reading it, you forget about that first love experience and like what that's like to feel all these emotions. So maybe if you've been in a relationship a couple times, you're like, oh, you know, just get over it. But it's like the first time that like he's feeling anguish. And also, you know, when he sort of drives to the park and is like looking around to like see, it's like who compares like to Bella. I don't know. It's a little gut wrenching to sort of be
It's really
like,
sad. And that's interesting that you put it that way because I forget about that. Like, just get over it, Jake. No big deal.
Right.
But this is his first time like feeling heartbreak. Sad. Oh, well, good things are to come.
It's difficult every time.
Yeah. So like you said, he hops in the car and he flees the scene. And he kind of realizes there isn't anyone like Bella for him. And this is when he really starts to come to terms with things. Returns back to square one, back to the Cullen house. But I have to say, it makes sense that he would have a meltdown. I mean, who's ever gone through?
But I don't even think it's like a meltdown. It's not like, you know, I don't know. I'm just picturing with like mascara like running down and like Bella.
Oh, Jacob.
It's not like, it's just kind of like, you know, what do guys do? They jump in a car and they like drive and, you know, it's kind
Clear
of,
their
I think
head.
he's
Run
more
away.
reflecting more than he is like having like a crazy meltdown.
Yeah,
where
that's
he's like
true.
stomping through the trees.
Yeah.
And,
And of course it's expected. Again, he's going through
know.
a lot. First love, it's
Exactly.
lost.
Poor guy. So Edward talks to him and tells him that while he was gone,
Right.
a huge situation went down with Leah.
Leah went crazy.
But it makes sense.
She had the
She
meltdown.
had the meltdown.
Yeah. I'm actually dying to see this in the movie because I feel like Julia Jones, like I could just see her like just going crazy on Bella.
For
You
sure.
want to tell us what that scene was
No,
like? No.
let's try. They're going to be doing this the whole
I
entire
know,
time.
we're going to be trying to do that.
And I will have my poker face on.
But Edward says that he has 3 things that he needs to talk to Jake about. So the baby's going to be delivered ASAP because we heard in the last chapter that her due date was 4 days away.
So where are we at now?
It's like day how many of her pregnancy? Like the fastest pregnancy known to man.
Crazy.
I know, it's very intense pregnancy. So they're going to deliver the baby ASAP. Number 2, the pact or the deal between the vampires and the wolves. Edward says that they've never gone back on it, but they will go back on it for Bella in this situation.
Right.
So do you guys see this as breaking the treaty? I mean, because it is breaking the treaty, essentially, but it's a really sensitive case.
You know, I totally respect like the traditional part of it, which is like honoring the treaty. I do think that some things, like it's like any sort of law, like sometimes old laws don't necessarily like
Makes
work with
sense.
modern day. So it was Bella's choice to have this done. I think it's like a really tricky situation. So when I was reading it, I felt both sides of it. You know, I felt like I understand why Jacob would want to break off from the pack, but then I understand like Sam's loyalty to the tribe and wanting to protect it. And who knows what this baby at this point in the book, what this baby is going to be. Like it could end up like killing everybody. So it's like I understand both thought processes of like, do we or do we not?
Exactly. It just keeps getting sadder for Jake, even though I know he's coming to terms with it. But when Bella says, you know, Leah can become your new companion, I was just like, stab the guy in the heart. Just pull it out. Like, that is the saddest thing ever. Not that Leah's not cool, because she totally is, and she's a great companion, but that's really not what he wants to hear.
It's like when someone doesn't want to go out with you and the friend offers up a different friend. Oh, well, he doesn't like you, but why don't you just go out with him?
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Is second place okay? Are you okay with second place?
Or maybe even fourth? I mean, what? What's up with that?
I love how we're talking about their hearting. We're like, ha, suckers.
I know, it's horrible. But sometimes all you can do is laugh in these situations. Seriously. I never foresaw, like, I could never look down the line and be like, oh, yeah, I could see them becoming a couple.
With Leah and Jacob?
Yeah, is that even an option in the Wolfpack?
Okay, when I was reading it, because I thought about this question, and I was just like, I kind of could, and they were like, sort of would be the perfect emo couple together, because they're both like, oh my God, Bella.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Sam. Let's make out. I don't know.
No, it's true though. Like, they could find, like, love together in their despair and anguish. Oh man.
Misery loves company, right?
Very, very true. That's probably why part of the reason why she joined him, you know.
True that.
At this point, though, this is a really important part of the entire plot of the whole saga, is that Jacob mentally communicates to Edward, you know, the whole mind reading thing, that if they turn Bella into a vampire and all the plans that they have will not violate the treaty, which is something he has the power to do since he's the rightful heir and the rightful alpha. And this puts everything into motion, and after this, stuff gets real.
Yes.
At this point. And this is the part of the movie. I mean, what did you guys think about the part of the book that we're starting to jump into? You know, Bella gets up to go to the bathroom, never makes it. Things start to go downhill fast. She bends over, and as she's bending over to pick up her water, a rip is heard. I mean, this is going to be crazy.
I'm like crossing my legs once more.
I know, right? I'm like, oh my gosh.
Poor Bella.
At this point, she already has a broken pelvis, all these broken ribs. I can't even imagine what else is ripping. I mean, there's options, obviously.
Thanks for picking this chapter to discuss.
Sorry. Moving into chapter 18, which is one of the shorter chapter names. There are no words for this. And there really are not. I mean, what would you call this chapter? What would you guys name this chapter?
But there are a lot of words in there because it's quite descriptive.
It is.
I know. The goriest birth ever known to man.
I think it was rightfully titled with there are no words for this.
Yeah, most definitely. Good job,
for this title.
So it opens with Bella. At the end of chapter 17, she's fallen. This is where the birthing is starting. So she's unconscious. Her body is convulsing because all of her bones are being broken. I can't even imagine what this is going to look like on the big screen, but I'm very excited about it. Not only that, her blood vessels are popping, hemorrhaging, and Rosalie slices open her skin. And then this is something that I totally forgot. I feel like we're so focused on these people as characters, and you just automatically think like human characters. I don't know if that's just natural for us as humans. But once her skin is sliced open, Rosalie, who's been caring for her this entire time, is like, transfixing the blood. Because they're vampires!
And also she hasn't eaten for a long time.
Right, because she's been protecting her.
Yeah, and she didn't go hunting that time when they had went. She wanted to crazily, stalkerishly.
Which I'm surprised someone didn't think about that and like bring her something.
Yeah.
P.S.
Well, I think they were hunting while this had all been going on. So I think they were just in the process of like finding food for themselves. So.
And then Jake is doing CPR, and while Jake is doing the CPR, he notices Edward is like giving her all these little kisses, like at all of her, like, I think, is it her pressure points or like her veins or something like that. But he's actually biting her to help her heal, which, I don't know, it's interesting.
I feel like everything in these chapters, I guess I didn't really expect these things to happen. They all make sense when you read them and realize the purpose behind it, but I would have never in my mind thought, oh, Edward's going to stab her with venom, like a syringe of venom, and Edward's going to bite her all over the place. I would have never imagined that. But it all makes sense.
I think also like the fact that Carlisle wasn't there and he was out hunting, it was like became this like manic scenario of like what do they do? Because it's like they had a plan of like how they were going to possibly like bring this child,
transition her and stuff.
Yeah, and he wasn't there, so I think things just went to
Murphy's
crap.
Law. Yeah, we'll go wrong. We'll go wrong. But also, I thought it was cool that in this birth scene, I mean, Rosalie's there, but it's been about these three characters for the entire book series, and to have them go through this big moment, basically, I mean, the three of them together and get through it was so like appropriate, even though it's obviously you know, very dramatic.
Is it appropriate? Because I thought it was like so weird that Jacob had to be there, and like not only is he like gonna lose like the love of his life, but he's like giving her CPR so that she can give birth to this like quote monster baby. Yeah. You know, and then she dies in front of him. I just felt so bad. It was
really bad.
Oh, here, stab in the heart.
I know. And so Jake thinks she's dead at this point. That she's gone. She's not coming back. They're doing CPR on her, trying to save her. And then Edward tells him to leave. And when he leaves, he sees Rosalie holding the little baby, and he is just like, Sam is right. This baby is pure evil. And then it's just like, time to kill. And this is another part of the book that I was like, what just happened? He goes to kill the baby, and he's like, I'm gonna murder you, baby. Newborn baby. And then he's like, JK. And he feels this pull, and he like stares at the baby and imprints on the baby. What just happened? Shocker. I don't know.
I knew it was going to happen already because I knew the storyline when I actually read, so I wasn't like as shocked. But I think I love hearing this. This is interesting.
It's crazy. What did you think?
About him trying to kill the baby?
From like killing to like,
well, also like, kidding. I think he doesn't also think of it as a baby too. Like we don't really know what it is, so it's not like Jacob the baby.
Yeah.
Just want to clarify that.
You're so right. You're so right.
But I mean, what I was confused about was I only thought you could imprint on people within the tribe. So maybe I was wrong about that, but that's what I thought. So I thought it was interesting that like he imprinted on Renesmee.
Fascinating.
And then I was like, maybe Bella has lived in the Fork so long, and her ancestors have like,
I don't know. She has like got a little bit of it. Yeah, exactly. And that's pretty much where things leave off with this chapter. We have no idea where the movie's going to end. We're just kind of guessing that it's going to be somewhere around here.
Stop teasing us!
You do know.
Tinsel!
Can you at least tell us, were you really excited about the way things wrapped up? Like, is it going to be a cliffhanger? I'm sure it is.
Of course it's a cliffhanger. There's a second movie to it. So you're going to do what you did at the end of, like, New Moon, at the end of Eclipse, where you're like, no! Why did you do that to me? Now I have to wait till June. This is torture. You're definitely going to do that, but there's like a bit of there's satisfaction at the end of it, but you definitely are like, what?
Oh gosh. And this has been like a super fun interactive experience with all of our viewers out there who are such passionate fans of the Twilight Saga. And we actually asked them if they were shocked when Jacob imprinted on the newborn baby / possible, you know, monster or whatever. And we got a lot of great responses. Wow, okay. People are super responsive. Jennifer Marone on Facebook says, I wasn't really shocked. And I thought this was a really cool one. I wasn't really shocked because Stephanie Meyer explained the whole thing, how he's going to see her as a sister, be whatever she needs to him while she's growing up, similar to Quill when he imprinted on 2-year-old Claire in Eclipse, which I think is a good, but it's still a baby. So.
I don't think of it, because I know there was this whole thing, oh, it's a baby, that's really creepy, but I never looked at it. I always thought of it like Quill's standpoint, which is that he's not in love in a weird way with the baby. It's once she gets, you know, older and like that same sort of thing.
It's more like an unconditional love.
So I didn't think it was like Jacob was like in love with her in like a passionate way.
Yeah.
But so that's wasn't shocked about that part.
Yeah. And then Angie Scotland, she actually is still caught up on something else, which I thought was so interesting. She's still upset. She says, this is all she had to say to this question. Bella chose Edward over a sex god. She's very mad. She's incredibly upset about this.
Team Jacob?
I know.
But now she can go after the sex god. So really, she did you a favor.
And then Vampire Fan 2 from Twitter said, yes, it was shocking. I thought he was going to end up with Leah. So we do have some Leah and Jacob supporters out there. What would you ladies say was your favorite part of these 2 chapters?
All of chapter 18, because it was so intense, and you're like, oh, is this gonna happen and that happened? I mean, it kept me on my toes.
Definitely. Tinsel, what about you?
I think kind of where actually Edward and Jacob have become in their relationship, where they're working together a lot more. As weird as that is, I'm sure, for the both of them, it's kind of interesting to see that dynamic between the two of them. So I'm kind of like, I was excited to sort of read about that.
Lots more coming. Breaking Dawn Part 2 down the pipeline. Very, very excited. Well, thanks for joining us for our final Breaking Dawn book club.
My pleasure.
For Breaking Dawn Part 1, the movie comes out in theaters on November 18th. you know we're going to be there waiting in line at midnight. So you guys hit the comment section. The question I'm going to leave you with this week is, where do you think the movie's going to leave off? Let us know. Give us your best guess. And of course, stick with us here at ClevverTV for all the latest in all things Twilight. I'm Joslyn Davis with Dana Ward and our guest, Tinsel Korey, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hi.